Good morning, everyone. We are in the Fort Lauderdale, Florida, inside Port Everglades. Our international speaker today is Robert Barcelo Jr., Business Development Manager. How are you, Robert?
Doing fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Thank you very much. We'll start very soon with the first question. Robert, according with your infrastructure, what's the actual situation of your port and the relationship with other ports in Latin America?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to address the student and the faculty at the university in Bogota. We are currently engaging in the second phase of our infrastructure improvements. We are in the process of coming to the enlargement and or widening and the deepening of the access channel from the Atlantic into the terminals, which will give us 49 feet draft compared to the 42 that we have now. That'll be a key component of allowing larger ships to come into the port and bring greater cargo and opportunities. Also, we have in dock rail, or should I say really near dock rail. 3 years ago, we inaugurated our own rail terminal with the help of Florida East Coast Railway. This is a very key component of the activity through the port because by having rail in the port, it reduces the cost of transportation. And more important, it allows the port users to have access to 70% of the U.S. consumer market within 4 days transit from the port. It also eliminates trucks from the road and it provides a safety component that is very, very much needed in this day and age. That, I think, puts us in a competitive advantage as a relationship to Latin American ports.
Fantastic. Robert, the second question. What project or commercial strategy does a port have between USA and Colombia?
Well, the primary relationship is the free trade agreement that exists between Colombia and the United States. That has become a key facilitator for bilateral relationship with the two countries. On a port level, we currently do not have any memorandum of understanding agreements with any of the Colombian ports, but we do keep a constant dialogue not only with the ports, but with several entities within Colombia. And we do visit Colombia on a regular basis and engage these agencies in dialogue and share best practices and see how we can help each other.
Fantastic. Robert, the third question. How the students and businessmen can project themselves to export or import toward USA or the world?
Well, the key component to that question or to the potentiality of any commercial activity is having a product that is of optimal condition. I think Colombia in itself has an advantage because of their strong domestic market. The Colombian consumer is very demanding, and that has placed the Colombian industry in a situation that they know they have to offer a quality product to the domestic consumer, and that helps them in making that leap to the export market even easier. But they have to be mindful also of all the regulations that exist here in the United States. And we'll start with the United States. Any product that comes into the United States is subject to very rigorous conditions that are set by the federal government. Any potential cargo or commodity that comes into the country is subject to almost or close to 47 separate federal entities here. So 47. So it's a very lucrative market, or the potential of being a lucrative market, but it's also a market that is very controlled and has a lot of requirements that are set forth. The enterprise that wants to come in is best served by getting a lot of knowledge beforehand of what are the requirements and make sure that their products are in accordance to each of these requirements. Because not having that knowledge and not complying with the requirements could cost them a lot of money.
And in the world?
The world, the world takes a lot of lead from what the United States does. You know, the United States being the single biggest economy in the world, a lot of the different entities worldwide kind of take the lead from what the United States is doing. Europe is starting to become, if not already become, a very controlled market, a very demanding market. China is also starting to develop a lot of conditions to the market because their consumers are becoming very savvy as to what they want and what they need. And there are the Chinese government has replied, and they are enacting a lot of conditions on cargo that comes into China. So, you know, they have to project themselves. I think number one is they have to have a quality product that they can you know sell through the United States and hopefully the world.
Be careful with the regulations. Number 4, Robert, how can we discover a commercial and academic mission of the student attending our university, keeping their careers and enrollment in business in mind?
Well, they're all welcome to come here. We can receive them. We can set up a series of meetings that could perhaps educate them as to the areas that they would potentially like to direct themselves to. Port Everglades is very much a center of commerce in Florida, or in South Florida in particular. Activity that comes in through the port impacts Florida in general, but going back to that USA versus and the world view, Port Everglades is a global gateway. We connect with 150 ports in over 70 countries around the world. So we offer a very unique opportunity to South Florida, not only when it comes to moving cargo, but also the different commodities, the diverse commodities and commercial activities that come through the port. Port Everglades is also the number 3 port in the world for cruise activity.
Excuse me, after?
Miami is number 1, and every year we compete with Port Canaveral in Orlando for cruise activity. That's top 3 ports in the world for cruise are in Florida. So that provides a very key component to international commerce, because that creates, between these 3 ports, there's an excess or an approximation of about 10 million consumers that come in and out the ports on a yearly basis. And these consumers are providing the local economy with added benefits. They are staying here longer. They are going to our shopping centers. They are staying in our hotels. They are eating at our restaurants. These people not only come in through the port. The cruise industry is not only an entry point or a transit point. It's become a secondary, if not a very important, commercial driver in the South Florida area.
Very interesting. Last question, Robert. How can our students and businessmen discover business options using Port Everglades as a main point?
We can put them in contact with several entities on a local, state, and federal level that they can gain knowledge and information about the particular interest to their endeavors. And the level of commercial activity that goes to the port is significant enough that we have access to all of these resources for the student body.
One more time. Can we bring some students in academic mission in 2018?
Of course. We will be happy to receive them. We can formulate an agenda for them to pursue here. I mean, we can bring entities or companies that are more in focus with what they want to do. I think it's important for them to get a taste of the reality of what, yeah, so they can get a real picture of what's involved. You know, one thing is to speak of theories, but there's nothing like the real life taste of what goes on. And yeah, they're very much welcome. We look forward to having them.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the opportunity.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.